Good evening, sir. Should we begin?
Yes, we can. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Dr. Shrabe.
Start, huh? Zalak, we can
Okay,
start.
sir. Good evening, everyone. I, Zalak Jogi, on behalf of N.S.S. Cell, University of Mumbai, and N.S.S. Unit B28 of Nagindas Khandwala College of Commerce, Arts and Management Studies, Autonomous, in collaboration with Department of English, which has organized this university webinar of Soft Skills Development Program, extend a warm welcome to our speaker for today, Professor Nansen Daniel, our director, Dr. Mrs. N.C. Jose, Principal Professor Dr. Moshmi Datta, Vice Principals Professor Vijay Suchak and Dr. Moona Mehta. NSS Program Officer and Area Coordinator, Western Suburban District, Malad, Dr. Vivek Chaube. NSS Program Officers of other districts of our Maharashtra are NSS faculty and student participants from guest and host colleges. We will now play the NSS song and college anthem. Sir, just a minute. There is some technical glitch. So.
So, like in place of you, someone else can also present, or you log out and then join.
Thank you, everyone. I now invite our NSS Program Officer and Area Coordinator, Western Suburban District, Malad, Dr. Vivek Chaube, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. On the behalf of our director, Dr. Mrs. Ansi Jose, our principal and a great leader, Professor Dr. Moshmi Datta, our vice principals, Professor Vijay Suchak and Dr. Mona Mehta, registrar and director N.S.S. University of Mumbai, Professor Sudhir Puranik, officer on special duty N.S.S. University of Mumbai, Professor Sushil Shinde, convener of today's and this particular soft skill development program, Professor Nandakishore Sonar, head of the Department of English, Professor Neeta Dhote, HOD, Department of Geography, Professor Suresh Shetkar, all the present dignitaries, district coordinators, area coordinators, program officer of our college, Dr. Vaishali Godeswar, as well as program officers of other colleges, NSS volunteers and student. I welcome today's resource person and our colleague, Professor Nelson Dalian sir. He will be speaking on 7 C's of communication. Sir, even I am very curious to listen to you. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Vivek sir, for your warm welcome, and thank you, dear students. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, is my slide visible, sir?
No, sir.
Now it's visible, sir.
Visible, sir. Visible now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, I really want to appreciate the students of N.S.S. for your extremely wonderful service towards this nation. And I'm so happy to have you all over here. And all the students who are attending this workshop of 7 C's of communication, I really want to appreciate all of you, especially the N.S.S. students, for your tremendous effort in so many ways for the development of this nation. You are doing an excellent work, a great, tremendous effort you're putting in towards for the development of this nation. And today I want to focus on the 7 C's of communication. I would also call this the 7 C's of leadership. Not just communication, but I would say these are the 7 C's of leadership. As you see on the very first slide, you can see all the 7 C's. I have put it up on the very first slide. You can see completeness, concreteness, courtesy, correctness, clarity, consideration, and conciseness. I personally am of the firm conviction that all the N.S.S volunteers and all the students who are attending this webinar, all of you are leaders, but you need to have certain qualities in you to be an effective leader. And an effective leader is the one who's got an effective communication skills. I would say communication and leadership are two sides of the same coin. If you want to be a good communicator, you need to possess the 7 C's of communication. Once you have the 7 C's of communication, you will automatically become a good leader, and you will also get the 8 C of communication, that is confidence. Now, confidence, I would say, is the byproduct of the 7 C's of communication. Now, many a times, students are not so confident when it comes to communication skills. Some of them say that they are having stage fear. Some students say they are having anxiety. Some students say they have nervousness when they talk in English. I would say it is not that you don't know English. It is because one of the 7 C's is missing in your communication. And today, through this soft skills workshop, you will have to fix up the 7 C's. One of the 7 C's, of which C is missing in your communication. So as I take you from one slide to the next slide, you will have to introspect, you will have to self-analyze and understand which C is missing in your communication, in your personal communication, in your professional communication. You have to realize and start introspecting yourself. The first C of communication that I want to focus on is clarity. And clarity is the most important C, I would say, of communication. Now, today, whatever you speak should be clear. Whatever you want to convey to an audience must have a clear message. Now, what is clarity? Clarity is implying, emphasizing a specific message or goal at a time rather than trying to achieve too much at once. A good speaker, a good leader must have clarity, not just in words, but clarity also in vision. When you are a leader, you must always try your level best to convey your message to your audience in the most clear form. Try to convey your message with as much as clarity as possible. Now, why is clarity important? When you have clarity in communication, you will be able to achieve the 3 things. The first thing is it will make understanding easier for the audience. When you have clarity in communication and clarity of thoughts, It will enhance the meaning of the message. A lot of communicators, when they want to communicate, they are not clear with their thoughts and ideas, and that affects the understanding of the audience. So if you want to be a good communicator, it is extremely important that you use appropriate words, concrete words, accurate words, and exact words to convey your message. So the first C of communication, and I would say the first C of leadership, especially as N.S.S leaders and students who are attending the webinar, all of you have to understand that you must have clarity in what you speak. Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. When I'm talking about clarity, I would say the opposite of clarity is confusion. But if you have the ability to communicate your ideas in a clear manner with a lot of clarity, you will be able to remove every confusion that is in the mind of the people. The audience, after you communicate, the audience must not have any confusion whatsoever. So every word that you speak, every sentence that you frame must have clarity. The second C of communication is courtesy. Now, imagine you are a wonderful speaker. You have great communication skills, you have excellent vocabulary, you have a great accent, but imagine if you are not courteous while you speak. A good speaker should always be courteous in everything that he speaks. Courtesy is extremely important. What is courtesy? Courtesy is to be polite, to be humble. I always tell one statement, and I want to repeat that statement once again. Your biggest ability is not your personality. Your biggest ability is not your personality. Your biggest ability is your humility. Now, courtesy and humility are same terminologies. You may be a great speaker. Now, some speakers have a lot of attitude. They speak with a lot of arrogance. They speak with a lot of pride. Now, that is not the quality of a good leader. A good leader must speak with clarity. At the same time, he must demonstrate a lot of courtesy when he speaks. Now, when you are courteous while speaking, you will have a lot of listeners and a lot of people who want to listen to you. So, the second C of communication is extremely important, dear students. Extremely important. You must be very polite. Your tone must be very polite. Your words and every sentence you speak must convey a very, very positive meaning. Now, I want to say one more thing about courtesy. Now, when you are a courteous speaker, you will never have to depend on bad words while you communicate. A good speaker is the one who has the ability to use positive words in negative situations. I know all of you come across negative situations in life, negative environment. Sometimes you have people who speak bad about you, who abuse you. Sometimes you have people who may speak very badly about you. But even at that point of time, a good leader should be as courteous as possible. That is what makes you a strong leader. A good communicator will have the ability to speak positive words in negative situations. What is courtesy? Courtesy is showing respect towards your audience, towards your receiver. A good speaker should be sincerely polite, judicious, having a good sense, judgmental, reflective, and enthusiastic. At the same time, one more thing, a good speaker should never ever depend on bad words. A good speaker has so much of courtesy that he will always use positive words to overcome challenges, overcome the negative situations, overcome the crisis, overcome the negative people around him. He will always depend on only positive words. That is the power of courtesy, dear students. Courtesy is something that you can use in your daily communication process when you communicate with a lot of people around you, friends, family friends, okay, your classmates, wherever you are, you can use courtesy and you can, create a good impression in the mind of people. Now, why is courtesy so important? Courtesy implies what? Considering the viewpoints of others. Now, when you are a courteous speaker, you always give importance to the viewpoints and feelings of others. You are not going to be self centered, rather, you are going to consider the feelings and the viewpoints of others. A courteous speaker is always positive and focused at the audience. You convey everything in a positive way. I was just referring, my dear students, about how you should not use negative words. I know it's a very difficult task, a very Herculean thing, very difficult task to show courtesy every time. But if you can practice courtesy every day in your life, I assure you that you will become a great communicator with all the 7 C's of communication. Can you take up this small challenge today onwards of not using bad words at all, whatever may be your circumstances, whatever may be your situation, whatever negativity you may be around, whatever negative environment you may be around, you must be as courteous as possible, as polite as possible, that you never ever have to depend on any negative words or any bad words to express yourself in front of people. Now, some people I know are very, very expressive when it comes to speaking bad words, but they are not expressive when it comes to speaking good words. When they have to express themselves in good English, they are not very expressive, but when they have to speak bad words, they are very expressive in themselves. Now, that is not courtesy. A courteous speaker always shows respect for the receiver of the message. And if you really want to show respect towards your receiver, you must always ensure that you use positive words, courteous words in every circumstance, in every situation. A courteous speaker is never biased. He is never biased. He considers everyone equal. I love this quote. It says, gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. Now, if you have the attitude of gratitude, that is the best attitude to possess, dear students. The attitude of gratitude. If you have gratitude, you will always show courtesy to everyone who is around you. So, a good speaker, first of all, must have clarity in conversation, clarity in communication, clarity in everything he speaks. At the same time, I would say courtesy is also extremely important. The third C of communication is completeness. Imagine you have clarity, you have courtesy, but you don't have the complete information. You are not going to convey your message in an effective manner. A good communicator must ensure to have complete information when he or she speaks. What is complete information? What happened? Where it happened? When it happened? How it happened? Why it happened? You must have complete information as a speaker, as a leader, as a strong communicator. You must have complete information whenever you want to convey a message. Now, when you have complete information, you become more confident. Now, I was telling you sometimes back, I'm going to take you to a journey of 7 C's which ends with the 8C, and that is confidence. A lot of students, a lot of youngsters are not very confident just because one of these C's is missing in your communication. So as we go from one slide to the next slide, I want all of you to introspect. All of you must try to understand which is the C missing in your communication. Which is the C missing in your communication? You have to analyze yourself. Maybe it is completeness, maybe it's concreteness, clarity, or courtesy, whichever C. And you need to start working on that C today onwards. The next C is completeness. Now, completeness, I said, if you want to be a good communicator, you must always have the facts in your mind. Now, once you have the facts clear and once you are strongly convinced with your facts, you will be able to convey your message in a very, very impactful manner to your audience. Now, why are the 7 C's very important, dear students? Because once you have the 7 C's in your communication, you are not just conveying a message, but rather you are creating an impact through your message. Every sentence that you speak, every word that you speak, every message that you convey creates an impact in the audience. So it is extremely important that you consider completeness while conveying a message. Apart from that, a good speaker also considers the mindset of the receiver. Okay, you have to understand the mindset of the receiver before you convey the message. That is also extremely important. Now, when you have completeness in your communication, the first thing is you will develop and enhance your reputation. Now, if you're working in an organization, okay, through your complete information, you will be able to develop the reputation of the organization, goodwill of the organization, develop the image of the organization. If you are a communicator with complete information, you will be able to build a good image for yourself. Many a times, we come across situations where we are in the midst of people who are discussing something and we may not have complete information. And many a times, we become spectators and not participators in that conversation. And it happens because you don't have complete information on that specific topic. So if you want to be a good communicator, you must learn to read as much as possible, get as much as information as possible. The more the information, the better the communication. The more the information, the better is going to be your communication. So you must develop the habit of also reading and getting as much knowledge as possible, because the knowledge that you get is the greatest effective tool that you have to showcase your confidence. So completeness helps you to develop yourself and to also enhance your reputation, your goodwill, and your image in front of others. When you are a speaker with complete information, it is the very cost-saving method, and no information is missed out. And people trust you for all the information that you are giving. When it comes to completeness, what happens? No additional cost is incurred in conveying extra message if the communication is complete. Once you completely convey your message with completeness, people will not have any doubt or any confusion in their mind. Complete communication always gives additional information. A communicator with completeness will always give additional information. The person will not have to come back to you and ask you any question. In other words, a completeness helps you to have better audience, and it never leaves any question in the mind of the receiver. Completeness also helps you in better decision making. And the last thing is, when you have complete information with you, you can easily convince your audience. Easily convince your audience. You can easily persuade your audience. Life calls not for perfection, but for completeness. Keep this quote in your mind, dear students. None of us can be completely perfect. Nobody over here is a Mr. or Miss Perfect, but we can all try to become complete in the best possible way. The next C of communication is correctness. Correctness is also very, very important. What is correctness? Correctness is in communication implies that there are no spelling and grammatical errors in communication. A lot of students, even when they go to higher levels of education, they still make spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes when they communicate, when they write, when they communicate. A lot of grammatical sentence structuring mistakes. The correct message have greater impact on the receiver, and at the same time, the morale of the sender increases when you have accurate message. Correctness is when you are very, very confident with your grammatical structuring also. A lot of students face problem here. They are not able to frame sentences in a grammatical manner. And because of that, they lose their confidence. So if you are that communicator who feels that you are not good with spellings or you feel you're not good with grammar, you don't have to worry. You just have to start reading, start writing sentences. I'll give you a small technique to improve your communication skills. Every single day, find out 3 words that you have never used in your communication, in your daily conversation, or you have never come across that word. Take that 3 words, minimum 2 words, maximum 3 words. Write down that word and write down the synonym of that word in a book and try to make sentences from that word in at least 3 to 4 different contexts. For example, if you love sports, you can make a sentence in the context of sports. If you like politics, you can make a sentence in the context of politics. If you love Bollywood, you can make a sentence in the context of Bollywood. If you love business, you can make a sentence in the context of business. So when you make sentences from the words that you came across, maybe 2 words or 3 words, what happens? Automatically you learn more words. Automatically your grammatical structuring improves, and gradually you become a good speaker. Now, becoming a good communicator is not an overnight process. It is a continuous process. It is a regular process. Communication itself is a process, my dear students. You all know there are 7 processes of communication: sender, message, encoding, medium, receiver, decoding, feedback. A good communicator must be always involved in the process of communication. Now, this particular activity, I want all of you to take it seriously. Find out 3 words a day. Now, if you learn 3 words a day in a month, you learn 90 words. That means you're adding 90 words to your vocabulary. When you have 90 additional words to your vocabulary, automatically your communication becomes strong. Automatically your confidence increases because you are getting acquainted and habituated with more words, and you're getting familiar with more words. A lot of students are not able to express themselves in a very confident manner because they have very, very less words in their mind. And because they have less words in their mind, they cannot express themselves in different situations of life. So, if you want to have the correctness in communication, you must start working on your writing skills. You will be able to improve your spelling mistakes and grammatical errors if you are having grammatical errors in your conversation, in your writing skills, you must start doing this today onwards. Every day, just 3 words. And write down the synonym of that word and make sentences in 4 contexts. So what happens is that next day when you come across the same word anywhere else in any different context, you'll be easily able to understand the meaning of that word in any other context because you have used that word in 4 different contexts and you have practiced it. And from the very next day, you should start using those words, maybe in your WhatsApp messages, maybe in your emails, maybe when you are interacting with someone, you can use those words in your regular conversation. And that is when you will be able to activate the 7 C's of communication in your regular, routine life. Okay, this 7 C's of communication is not a 5 mark question. It is not a theoretical topic. 7 C's of communication is something that you need to activate in your life every single day. In every single day, if you start implementing this 7 C's in your communication, automatically you will see that your confidence level starts going up and you will create a greater impact on your audience. So I want all of you to start doing this activity today onwards. And I'm definitely telling you, you will see a drastic change, a tremendous change in your communication skills in just 3 months. You don't have to go anywhere else. Okay, you just have to start working on yourself. Practice makes a man perfect. Once you start doing this, you will see that your communication skills definitely will improve. Now, correctness, when you have correctness, okay, your message is always exact, correct, and well timed. When you have correct information, your confidence level automatically goes up. Now, you all know, you all give exams. When you know the answers properly and when you know the answers correctly, when you write the answers correctly, you're very confident. But if you are not sure about what you are saying or what you are speaking or what you are writing, if it's incorrect, automatically your confidence level goes down. So a good speaker must ensure that he has the correct information before he speaks to anyone, because your information has the power to change someone. Your communication has the power to impact an audience, impact the listeners. At the same time, also ensure that your communication is precise and accurate with facts and figures. Make use of appropriate and correct language in the message. I was talking sometimes back about usage of bad words. How much ever negative situations you have to go through, use correct words, appropriate words. Don't use inappropriate words, even in the inappropriate situations, to express yourself. You can use positive words, you can use courteous words, you can use polite words, and that will make you a great communicator. Now, if you read this quote, obviousness is always the enemy of correctness. A good speaker is never the one who says it's obvious. Okay, a good speaker is always the one who believes in correctness. Okay, you are not the one who believes in obviousness, but you are the one who always believes in correctness. You give the correct information and you create an impact on the audience. The next C of communication is conciseness. Now, conciseness, in short, I would say it means conveying maximum information in minimum words. Conciseness is conveying maximum information in minimum words, or I would say least number of words. Who is a good speaker? A good speaker is the one who can convey maximum information in minimum words. Now imagine the reverse of that. Now, if you have a speaker who is conveying minimum information in maximum words, that is not going to be an effective communication. A good communicator conveys his communication, conveys his message in the least number of words and creates a greater impact. Conciseness means wordiness, that is communicating what you want to convey in least possible words without foregoing the other stages of communication. Foregoing is without forgetting, without let going. The other stages of communication, the other stages as well. Conciseness is a necessity for effective communication. It is conveying maximum information in minimum words. Now, how do you possess this quality? Now, conciseness is, I would say, the most difficult C in communication. Usually, you have people who can speak a lot, okay, they can narrate a lot, they can describe a lot, but we want people who can speak less words and create more impact, conveying maximum information in minimum words. Now, if you want to have conciseness in communication, you must have a lot of words in your mind. If you have a strong vocabulary, strong words in your mind, you will be able to have conciseness in communication. Conciseness helps you in your corporate life. Conciseness helps you in every area of your life when you want to address an audience, speak to someone. People will not have the time to listen to your big stories. They will not have time to listen to your narrations and your descriptions. They want things in a very short and concise manner. And for that, you must have this ability of conveying your message in the least number of words. Now, when I say least number of words, I don't mean to say that you have to know only least number of words. You have to know as many words as possible, so that whatever situation you are in, whatever context you are in, whatever circumstances you are in, whatever it may be, you will have the words to deal with that situation. If for example, you're attending an interview, okay, you will have just maybe 15 minutes of an interview. In that 15 minutes of an interview, you will have to use the least number of words to showcase yourself in the best possible manner. That is very important. If you are given a chance to speak in a huge gathering and you are given 5 minutes to speak, in that 5 minutes, you have to speak in such a way that you create a great impact on the audience listening to you. For that, you need conciseness. So conciseness is, I would say, a very difficult C, but if you practice what I said in the previous point, correctness, if you learn 3 words a day, I said you are going to be learning 90 words a month. And if you see in the entire year, you are learning a lot of words. Many of us are not good communicators, not because you don't know English. You are not so confident when it comes to communication skills just because you have less words in your mind and you are not able to express yourself because you have less words, and you start hunting for words, you start finding words, you start looking out for words, how to explain yourself, how to express yourself. You start, you just get nervous. Now, why do we have nervousness when you speak? Because you are falling short of words. Why do you have stage fear? Because you're falling short of words. Why are you not able to express yourself in a confident way? Because you're falling short of words. Sometimes students come and ask me, sir, what do we do to eliminate stage fear? I said, come on the stage and start speaking. Sometimes students ask me, sir, what do we do because we have a lot of we are not able to express ourselves. I say, start expressing yourself. If you start expressing yourself and start speaking in every situation with people, okay, in English, you will definitely improve your communication skills every single day. And this particular exercise, I don't want you all to just attend this soft skills session and just leave. One more session, one more day, but rather after the session gets over, today onwards, you make it a practice that you will start learning 3 new words. If you can learn 5 words a day, it will be a great achievement. But remember, you are going to learn a lot of words, and the more you learn words, just like you need bricks to build a building, just like you need bricks to build a building, you need words to build your language. So the more you learn words, the more you learn words, the more you are going to have conciseness in your message, and the more you're going to get confident in your message, and the more you'll be able to express yourself in front of people without any fear. You will be very, very confident. Now imagine, students, you are all in your first year degree, second year degree levels. Already you have finished, maybe, till you are 12th standard, you have finished 12 years of education. First standard to 10th standard, FIJC, SYJC, you finished 12 years of education. Now, if I catch your junior KG, senior KG, and nursery, it is 15 years of education that you finished. Imagine after finishing 15 years of education, nursery, junior KG, senior KG, first to 10, 13 years, FIJC, SYJC, and you're going to finish your first year, second year, third year degree. So 18 years of education. And if you're going to do your post-graduation, 20 years of education. So imagine after having 15 years of education, if you're not able to speak confidently in front of people, if you're not able to express yourself in a confident manner, what were you doing with your 15, 18, 20 years of your education? The objective of education is to empower you, is to make you a confident person so that you can express yourself in front of anyone and everyone. Now, what makes you a good speaker? Apart from the 7 C's, okay, once you have all the 7 C's in your communication, you gradually and eventually become a good speaker. That is for sure. Now, when you want to be a good speaker always ensures one thing, that he is comfortable with everyone and anyone. A good speaker ensures that he speaks in every situation. He is comfortable with everyone and he makes everyone comfortable. That is also a very, very important factor of a good communicator. What is conciseness? It is a time-saving as well as a cost-saving element. When you have conciseness in communication, you underline and highlight the main message as it avoids using excessive and needless words. I would say when you communicate, you must be very much conscious and cautious about the words that you use. Concise communication provides short and essential message in limited words to the audience. And the best thing about conciseness is you are very appealing and comprehensible to the audience. And a concise speaker is non-repetitive in nature. He never has to repeat the things that he speaks. A good communicator must ensure that you have conciseness in communication. Now, if you have conciseness, keep this in your mind. Communicate your passion clearly concisely and with genuine conviction. If you have conciseness in communication, you will be able to communicate yourself with a lot of passion, and whatever you speak, you will have genuine conviction. That is what makes you a good speaker. The next C of communication is concreteness. What is concreteness? Concrete communication implies being particular and clear rather than being fuzzy and general. Concreteness also means knowing the facts and figures. When you have concrete information, it automatically strengthens your confidence. Now, all of you aim to be a confident speaker. Now, this topic is covered today in the soft skills program because you cannot be a confident person unless you have all the 7 C's of communication. You must have all 7 C's of communication, and you must practice all the 7 C's of communication regularly in your conversations, in your interactions. Okay, while you message people, okay, you must always use the 7 C's in the maximum way possible. So what will happen? Automatically your confidence starts building. A concrete speaker is the one who's got facts and figures. His facts and figures will be always perfect. He makes use of words that are clear and that build the reputation. Now, please remember the second point, very, very important. The words that you speak builds your reputation. Every word that you utter helps you to build your reputation. A concrete speaker uses the power of words to build his image, to build his reputation, to build his goodwill, and he also uses words to build his public relations. Do you know, students, that the words that you use on a regular basis can be used to build public relations, to build your reputation, to build your image? And we usually and casually use the words. We use the words in a very casual way sometimes, without even thinking. We speak words to hurt people, to demotivate people, to discourage people, to humiliate people. But do you know those words have the power to empower someone, elevate someone, uplift someone, boost someone's confidence? If you use communication and the words to motivate people, to appreciate people, to elevate people, to uplift people, it will help you to build your own reputation. Listen to this point very clearly, dear students. The words that you use is building your own reputation. That is why I said sometimes back, a good communicator will never have to rely on negative words, abusive words, bad words to encounter a negative situation. A good communicator can encounter any situation, can tackle any situation, can handle any circumstances through positive words. Whatever may be your situation, whatever may be the circumstances, whoever may be the person, if you are a positive communicator, you will always depend on positive words. You will tell me, so it's so difficult. It's so difficult. Sometimes we speak bad words. Sometimes unknowingly, unintentionally, we speak bad words. But you have to stop that. Once you start speaking positive words, you will have concreteness in communication. You understand? Concreteness in communication. You will be more concrete in your messages. You will be more concrete in what you speak. And the more you use concrete words, positive words with people, it helps you to build your own reputation. It helps you to build your public relation, and you will definitely have a great image that you will build for yourself. This is a great platform that you have got, dear students. Continuously, every single day, you're getting workshops and training from different resource persons. And the common message that we want to give you is that your communication helps you to build your reputation. You have a choice how to speak to people. You can be harsh with them, you can be polite with them, you can be rude with them, you can be extremely well mannered, but everything is through words. And when you are a concrete speaker, nobody will misinterpret your message. So, a good speaker must have concreteness. So, we finish clarity, we finish courtesy, completeness, correctness, concreteness, conciseness. Now, just read this quote. Dreams come true when desire transforms into concrete actions. A concrete speaker is the one who makes or gets into concrete actions. He is the one who transforms everything into concrete actions, because his words are concrete, so his actions are also concrete. He makes his dreams also concrete. His desires, his will, his intentions, everything becomes concrete. So concreteness is extremely important if you want to be a good speaker. Now, this is I would say, the most important, like courtesy, consideration. Now, if you want to be a good speaker, you must have consideration for everyone. Now, India is a multilinguistic country, a multicultural country. We have people from different cultures, traditions, customs, and that's what makes this country a beautiful one. Now, you as a speaker must have consideration for everyone around you. Consideration is, I would say, a good quality that you must possess to be a great communicator. Consideration is what? Stepping into the shoes of others. Effective communication must take the audience into consideration. That's the audience viewpoints, background, mindset, education level. And you must try to visualize your audience, their requirements, emotions, as well as problems. Ensure that the self-respect of the audience is maintained and their emotions are not at harm. Modify your words and message to suit the audience need while making your message complete. Remember, a good communicator earns respect, gives respect, and also takes care of the self-respect of the audience. Remember, every one of us have a self-respect. When you communicate with someone, you should never humiliate, insult, and demotivate a person. I know these are all difficult things, but a good communicator will never have to demotivate anyone. A good communicator always motivates others, and that is consideration. Consideration is understanding people around you. putting yourself in their position and trying to understand what they are going through if you were in their position. And if you can empathize with people around you, you automatically become a good speaker. If you understand people around you, if you understand the viewpoints of people around you, if you respect people around you, if you value people around you, if you appreciate people around you, when I say consideration, I want to use the word appreciation. Now, if you are a good speaker, you will always appreciate people. Now, consideration and appreciation, I would say, are very, very connected terminologies. If you have consideration for someone, you will have appreciation also for that person. If you want to be a good speaker, this is one personal technique I want to give you. Personal, if you take this seriously, you will definitely see a lot of, change in your communication. If you want to be a good speaker, you must have consideration, that is for sure. But second, you must have the quality to appreciate everyone. It is very, very easy to criticize, but a good speaker spends maximum amount of time appreciating people, because he understands the people around him. He understands the viewpoints of people, their opinions, their suggestions, their ideologies, their background, their mindset, their education level. And you appreciate them. You motivate them. You uplift them. You elevate them. That's consideration. Now, if you are not able to do these things, you may speak a great English, but if you're not able to appreciate people with consideration, you cannot be a good speaker. It is extremely important that you empathize with people. Consideration is an extremely important C of communication. Learn to visualize your audience, their requirements, their emotions, their problems. And the most important thing is self-respect. You give respect and take respect. A good communicator always respects people. A good communicator always values people. And a good communicator always appreciates people. These three words are very important in consideration: respect, value, and appreciate. If you are a good speaker, if you consider yourself to be a good speaker with the seventh C of communication called consideration, you must possess these three words. And if you possess these three words along with the 7 C's, clarity, courtesy, completeness, correctness, conciseness, concreteness, consideration, along with these 7 C's, I'm giving you 3 more additional words that you must implement in your communication on a regular basis, and you will turn out to be a great communicator. And those 3 words are respect, value, and appreciate. Once you start respecting people, you'll be able to communicate with them in a better way. When you start respecting people, you will start understanding them in a better way. And when you start understanding them in a better way, you will start communicating with them in a better way. We have to remove our psychological barriers to communication. We have a lot of attitudes and pride and ego. All of this affects our communication many a times. So along with the 7 C's of communication, the 8th thing that you must keep in your mind is learn to respect everyone's viewpoints. Learn to respect people from different backgrounds, different mindset, different circumstances people come from. When you learn to respect them irrespective of whatever situation or whatever circumstances or whatever background they come from, and when you start respecting them unconditionally, you emerge to be a better communicator. You turn out to be a great communicator. That is why I said communication is a process. It is a lifestyle. It is not something that you learn just through a seminar or a workshop or a soft skills program. Communication is a lifestyle. When you start implementing it in your daily life on a regular basis, you will automatically become a good communicator. The next thing, along with the 7 C's, I said respect. Next thing is value. Now you must value the efforts put in by the organizers for giving you such a wonderful opportunity to enhance and develop your skills. At the same time, also remember that you value everything in your life. The real value of something depends on how much you value it. Now, if you don't value this session is not going to be of any value to you. The real value of anything and everything in this world depends on how much you value it. Consideration is also valuing everything around you, valuing people, valuing everyone around you, and respect, value, and the third word, 7 plus 8, 9, and the 10th word that you must know to be a good communicator is learn to appreciate. The easiest thing that you can do is criticize. The easiest thing that you can do is blame someone. The easiest thing that you can do is show the mistakes of others. But a good communicator who's got consideration for others will always appreciate the person, and in a very courteous way will show the mistakes. In a very polite way, in a very humble manner, he will show the mistakes. So appreciation is very, very important. Today onwards, you start doing this, dear students. Start appreciating people. When I say appreciation, you start appreciating everyone you see around you who is making a difference in your life in some way or the other. When you start appreciating people, your communication automatically improves. When you start thanking people, when you start motivating people, when you start uplifting people, when you start elevating people, when you start encouraging people, your communication automatically improves and your consideration for others automatically improves. Your communication automatically improves. So consideration is only when you have 3 words, that is respect, value, and appreciate. Now these 3 words you can add on along with the 7 C's. And when you have all these 10 words in your communication, you will definitely turn out to be a great communicator. Don't forget the exercise that I told you. Okay, what is consideration? A person who's got consideration always has the you approach. Not me, but you. He always empathizes with the audience and exhibit interest in the audience. Now, very, very important point. A good speaker always gets a positive reaction from the audience. Now, if you remember the point that I said, when you speak positive words, you get positive reaction from the audience. He always shows optimism towards the audience, and a good speaker always emphasizes on what is possible rather than what is impossible. When you have respectful attitude, when you value everyone, and when you appreciate everyone, you will always be a person who will always see things possible happening. Everything will be possible for you and nothing looks impossible. And the best thing about a person with consideration, who's got respect, value, and appreciate, he will always or she will always focus on the positive words like jovial, committed, thanks, warm, healthy, help. He's always focused on the positive words. He makes, now when I say, he's always comfortable, always makes others comfortable. That is the quality of a good communicator. And remember, who's a good leader? A good leader is the one who speaks, who lets others speak, and who also makes others speak. That is consideration. Consideration is not just speaking for yourself. Consideration is speaking for yourself and letting others speak and also making others speak. If you feel you have a friend, if you feel you have someone in your group who is not very confident with English, very nervous, lack of confidence, what you must do? You must encourage that person to speak up, help that person to speak up. That is consideration. And automatically your communication also improves. A good communicator is always jovial, committed. He always is expressing thanks, gratitude, appreciation, always ready to help others. Communication is a lifestyle. 7 C's of communication is not a topic that you learn in just 1 hour. It is something that you practice in your life every single day. And when you have all the 7 C's of communication, you have confidence, which is a byproduct of all the 7 C's. Confidence is not something you get through anything else. When you have all the 7 C's, clarity, courtesy, completeness, correctness, conciseness, concreteness, consideration, and with consideration, I said 3 things are important. That is respecting people, valuing people, and appreciating people. When you have these 3 things also, automatically you become a confident person. Automatically you become a very, very strong communicator. And whatever you speak, you will implement. A good speaker is the one who doesn't just speak, but rather he implements what he speaks. So when you have all the 7 C's of communication, you will definitely be a speaker who will implement, execute everything, whatever you speak. And if you are that person who's not so confident, what is confidence? Confidence is knowing your strengths and knowing your weakness. A confident person knows his strength and his weakness. But some people would say, I'm not so confident. Okay, you have lack of confidence. Lack of confidence is knowing only your weakness and not your strength. Lack of confidence is knowing only your weakness and not your strength. What is overconfidence? Knowing only your strengths and not your weakness. Which category do you fall into? Are you a confident person? Do you have lack of confidence? Are you overconfident? I'll repeat again. What is confidence? Knowing your strengths and knowing your weakness. A confident person will know his strength and his weakness. But a person with lack of confidence will know only his weakness and not his strengths. And an overconfident person is the one who knows only his strengths and not his weakness. All of us have strengths and all of us have weakness. Let us all work together and strive together. Communication is a process. It is a regular process. You learn to implement all the 7 C's in your communication every single day, and you will see a tremendous change in your communication, and you will all become great leaders of this nation. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box.
Are there any questions? Can you read out the questions for me if there's anything?
Sir, we don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Chaube sir, thank you so much.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. There is one question. One person is asking how to prepare for an interview with confidence using these 7 C's of communication.
Okay. Now, I told you that the 7 C's of communication is something that you must implement in your daily life. Every single day, you must learn to practice the 7 C's. Now, how do we practice the 7 C's? I said one activity I told you. One activity is learning 3 new words a day. When you learn 3 new words a day and learn to use those 3 words in 4 different contexts. I said 4 different contexts. So when you use the word in 4 different contexts, social, political, business, or any context that you like, you will get familiar with those words. And when you go for an interview, remember, an interview is not a Kaun Banega Crorepati set where you have to give the right answers to all the questions. An interview is a place where you have to exchange your views. Interview, you exchange your views. If you have enough words in your mind, and if you are confident as a speaker, and if you have all the 7 C's, you will be able to express and exchange your views in the interview. An interview is not a place where you have to give the right answer, and if you give 8 right answers and 2 wrong answers, you are rejected. It's not like that. An interview is a place where you have to exchange your views in a confident manner. That's an interview. An interview is not a place where you have to be scared, you know what's going to happen, are you going to be rejected or selected. You just have to be confident and express your views in a confident manner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is one more question. Do empathy and consideration mean the same?
Yeah, empathy and consideration is almost, it means the same. Empathy is putting yourself into the shoes of someone and trying to understand what the person is going through. Consideration is the ability to understand people. Okay, that is a very important quality a good communicator must have. A good communicator has good understanding. If you call yourself a great communicator, you must have good understanding, consideration for others. And empathy also means the same. So if you are a good communicator, you must have empathy for people, and you must also have consideration for everyone around you. That makes you a good communicator. And when you have empathy and consideration in your communication, whatever you plan, whatever you think, you can implement for sure. And as N.S.S leaders who are hearing me, you have a great future and you're going to build this nation. So it is very important that you have extra consideration and empathy for the poor and the underprivileged, especially for people who are suffering around you, especially for people who are going through difficulties. You must have consideration for them. You must have your empathy towards them. And that will also make you a good speaker. So communication, you must put into action. Communication, you must put into action. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is one last question. As you said, to always appreciate, but if we start appreciating instantly to our surroundings, so people take it as buttering. So, what should be done here? And how to correct the people's thinking?
Okay, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. I will post it in the chat box.
No, read it out. Okay, read it out for me.
As you said, to always appreciate, but if we start appreciating instantly to our surroundings, so people take it as buttering. So, what should be done here? And how
Okay.
to correct the people's thinking?
Okay. Yeah. See, now you cannot correct people's thinking and change people and the way people think about you. Okay. That you cannot change people. And I always tell students one thing: you cannot control what people think about you. You can never ever control what people think about you. That is their thought process, and you cannot control it, you cannot change it. But what you can change is your words. And your words have the power to change their thought process. Your words have the power to change their mindset and their thinking. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. As the program ends, a volunteer Deepa Karma will propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Deepa.
Hello. Hello, Zalak, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yes, you're audible. Yeah, speak.
Good evening, everyone. I, Ms. Deepa Vishwakarma, on behalf of the N.S.S. University of Mumbai, N.S.S. Unit B28 of Nagindas Khandwala College, along with Department of English of Nagindas Khandwala College, consider it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for Soft Skill Development Program Day 7. We are extremely grateful to Professor Nelson Daniel for addressing us on this important topic. He took valuable time out from his busy schedule to do this for us. I am sure all the participants must have benefited immensely from your talk on 7 C's of communication. Thank you, sir. We thank the Department of English for their cooperation in organizing this event. We are also grateful to our director, Dr. Mrs. N.C. Jose, our principal professor, Dr. Maushmi Datta, our vice principals, Professor Vijay Suchak and Dr. Mona Mehta, area coordinator and our program officer, Dr. Vivek J. Chaube, for rendering us constant support. I also thank our management, the MKES, for giving us the opportunity to organize this event. I extend a big thanks to all our NSS faculties and student leaders for their cooperation. As no program can be a success with the effort of only a single person, I would like to thank all our participants too. We hope you have learned a lot from today's session. Thank you all for making this event such a success with your patient presence. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Nelson sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And all of you can just keep your video on to have a photographs. It should be geotag photographs.
Good evening, N.S.S. sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
So compliments to Sonar sir for devising this particular modules and inviting such a great, speakers. हो गया? It's done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Nelson, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Sonar, sir, thank you so much. Sonu, sir, thank you so much. Nita, ma'am, thank you so much.
Bye.
We have posted the feedback form in the chat box. Make sure you fill the feedback form and then sign off.
Sonar, sir, may I leave now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye, Vivek sir. Sonar sir, bye.